what up? It's that time again, Frontlines Episode 8, the final push to Prestige 10 to get your AE Phase 1 and Road to Prestige 10. I have also 10 tips for you in this final push. Of course, a new map is going to be introduced into this video. I'm going to give you a few tips about that map as well. But first, before anything happens, remember, if you are here for the first time, please subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notifications if you have not turned it on already, especially if you are here for the mod pack videos. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It does help out my channel very much and I appreciate it a lot when you do. Now, the first tip that I have for you is play aggressively, no matter where you are spawned, defensively or attacking team. Do it early in the game. Get your damage output out as quickly as possible, as early as possible, because in this game mode you need to rank up quickly, especially if you are behind in your prestige. If you are prestige 6, prestige 7, you are behind, prestige 6, prestige 5. If you are behind, you need to play aggressively early in the game. The game ends around 20-25 minutes, so you have around 20-25 minutes to rank up. Now you see me expending my XP here. I have no more XP. I am a one shot now. This is when I withdraw. Now I could have done a little bit better. I would have liked to got a little bit more 1500 damage before I retreat back to the repair station, and so that is exactly what I'm going to do right now. Alright, here's tip number 2. Tip number 2, watch my old Kraftwerk video, the epic suburbia video that I did, a review on this map. This is how it's going to be working out for the time being. This is my assessment so far in the hard part. The hard part in pushing or the attacking teams is on the A capture, the A objective. Bravo objective is a bit easier, 50-50, and the easiest push is on Charlie objective. Now it's different from the old map. The old map capture objective A is 50-50, objective B is kind of easy for the attacking teams, right? And the hardest objective was objective C for the attacking teams. So it is different places that you play in the new Kraftwerk map. Let's take a look at it again. The hardest place to attack is objective A, 50-50 on objective B, because the defense teams can actually go into the capture, into the objective B and defend it from there, because there is hard cover in the objective B for the defensive teams. The easiest cap by far, the easiest objective is Charlie. If you are attacking, go ahead and attack Charlie, drive straight up to the wall and park right up to it, and you can capture it in no time. The easiest objective is objective C. Now, that was my second tip. Watch that video. I have it prepared. I'll leave it in a link below so you can follow up and watch it and get some preparation at least for the new map, because you're going to be seeing a lot of it. Of course, it's the new map. The matchmaker is going to probably give you that map almost immediately, so you need to be prepared for that map. Don't go in blindly. Now, of course, early in the games for the Kraftwerk map, the defensive teams are going to win a lot more than the attacking teams, because everyone is so new to that map. It's going to favor the defensive teams at least for the first 3 days. So don't be surprised, don't be upset if you are spawned in the defending team, because the defending team is going to probably win a lot in the first 3 days. But after everyone gets used to the gets used to the new Kraftwerk map, the attacking teams are going to win a lot more in the following 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th and 7 days, and they will end up probably having a better win ratio over the defensive teams by the end of the campaign. But in the early first 1, 2 or 3 days, remember, defending teams are going to be doing all right. They're going to be winning a lot, so don't be afraid if you are on a defensive team. Now, in my third tip for you is manage your reserve tanks very well. Now look at me, I have not died yet. I have 1 reserve tank in the bank, and my countdown is maybe 30 more seconds before my second reserve tank appears in my reserve. So I am being hyper aggressive right now. I am going to do as much damage as I can. Now I'm being pushed right now. I don't want to die right now, but if I did, it's okay. Look at my reserve tanks. I have now 2 reserve tanks. So now is a good time actually for me to YOLO rush, make the plays, take the big risks. Why? Because I not only have 1 reserve tank in the bank, I have 2 reserve tanks. Now I completely outplayed that Lorraine here. I was going to try and outplay this 132, but it didn't work out exactly. I don't know how he got that shot on me. 132s normally don't have very good dispersion that quickly anyway, but that's okay. I have 2 reserve tanks. I'll pop into another one. Now even when I get into another tank, I'm going to have 1 more in reserve. Now, yeah, that's it. Now my tip number 4: use your medium tanks more than any other class of tank. Now you see me using a heavy tank here, the VK. And why am I using the VK? Because I'm spawned, I'm respawning, and I have studied the map. I've looked at where the enemy positions are, and the best place for me to be right now is here in the Echo, in the Echo objective, where I can defend it from this position, and the best place and the best tank to defend it from is a heavy tank. Now that's not to say heavy tanks, tank destroyers and light tanks are not in play in this map. What I'm saying when I say tip number 4, use more mediums, is because medium tanks are by far the most dominant class in this game. It's not to say heavy tanks, light tanks and TDs are terrible in this game mode, but the medium tanks are the ones that the most of the good players and the players that are ranking up to generals, those are the main tanks for these kind of players. And I kid you not, if you don't believe me, go watch the streamers, go watch the best players do it. They are rolling in T44 100s, Progettos, Lorraines, anything medium that can flex around the map quickly. Of course, heavy tanks have a place, tank destroyers have a place, light tanks have a place, but play them accordingly. Now you see me in a heavy tank here pushing them off the Echo objective, and I am trying to we are actually winning the Echo objective. As you can see, we are pushing them back. But what am I going to do now that I have no more there's no one attacking the Echo objective? What am I going to do? Well, there's only one thing to do. Either you commit suicide or you push forward. Now I have a lot of HP, there's nothing to commit suicide to, so what am I going to do? I'm going to use the HP of my tank and push forward, try to get as much damage as I can, and then either YOLO, kill myself, or abandon this tank. I've decided to push forward because look at the enemy team. We're doing quite a good job here at holding them off and pushing them back, and it looks like we're probably going to be able to hold them off for a while longer. Now if I stay in this position where I am right now, I'm not going to get a lot of damage out of this position anymore. So the best thing for me to do right now is to move forward. And now during this game, I am still trying to figure out when is the right timing for me to push forward. I should have done it like maybe 30 seconds, 20-30 seconds sooner, but I think now is the right time to do it. There is actually literally no more enemies in front of us, and if they are very low in HP, so I might as well do that now. So my tip number 4 was use more medium tanks than heavy tanks. Now if I was in a medium tank, I could have held this position in a medium tank as well, and I would have been quicker pushing forward right now and eliminating the rest of those enemy teams in front of me instead of in this heavy tank. So in hindsight, I could have done a little bit better if I was in a medium tank, but that's not to say there's no place for any heavy tanks. Now tip number 5, be prepared. Tip number 5, be prepared to switch flanks. Always be ready to switch flanks, either by suicide or abandoning your tank, or you accidentally died. Pay attention to your map, see what's happening, and always be prepared to switch flanks. If you're in a medium tank, light tank, of course a fast tank gives you that option. At the drop of a dime, you can switch flanks, look at your map, see where you are needed the most, see where you can contribute the most, see where you can get the most damage, switch flanks and make the play get as much damage as you can. Now you see me pushing forward here because this is the only option that I have in this tank, a heavy tank. I cannot switch flanks, I have to push forward, either hold the position and wait to die, let others push into me, or push forward and try to get as much damage as I can, which is exactly what I'm trying to do right now. So tip number 5 was be prepared to switch flanks. Either switch flanks using your mobility, or switch flanks by suiciding and switching into another tank if you have reserve tanks, or switching flanks by holding down the J button and abandoning your tank. Now look at my reserve tanks. I have 2 more reserve tanks, again 2 reserve tanks. So if I lose this tank, I have no losses at all, no risk at all. So what I'm going to do is try to push forward, use my armor. I still have a lot of HP, so I'm going to trade my HP for a little bit of damage here. I'm going to try and survive for as long as I can. There's 2 of them there and there's 1 of me here, but that's not going to stop me from trying to get as much damage output as I can. I could have been a little bit more aggressive because I'm a heavy, but I also want to make sure that when I'm reloading, I'm protecting myself. So there you go. This guy is pushing me, and there is another heavy tank here in front of me, the old KV5. I'm gonna see if I can finish him off first, try to avoid the object 252U. Oh, he's dead, so I'm gonna turn around and see if I can kill off that object 252U. Now tip number 6. Tip number 6 is a very important tip. If you are behind, if you are in Prestige 5, Prestige 4, Prestige 6, if you are 2-3 episodes behind, you need to catch up quickly. Which is why the first tip I gave you was turn on your boosters. Make sure that you have the boosters that double your experience. You can collect those boosters right now. They are on for play any random battles. Wargaming gives 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of them to you every episode since the last episode. So you should have some boosters on that will double your experience. Make sure you turn them on. And what was I going on about? Yeah, my tip number 6. If you are behind, don't be cheap. Use gold. Why? You need to realize your shots. You need to realize 100% of your shots, and you can do that with premium shells. Use premium shells. You will lose a little bit on credits. You might not lose some credits. Actually, you might even break even when you're playing this game mode, because you make so much credits when you're playing this game mode. But don't try to rank up and make credits if you are behind. If you are behind, just focus on ranking up. At least catch up first before you start farming credits. So don't be afraid to fire a lot of gold to make a lot of your shots count and rank up. If you are general, 1200 points with your boosters, it's 2400. You can basically rank up to you could basically have you can basically go up twice in your prestiges if you using the boosters, right? In one episode you can rank up 2 episodes. So in episode 8 you can actually catch up 6 and 7, if that makes sense to you. Use your boosters and use gold. Now tip number 7, do not be idle. Like I was saying earlier on, in my heavy tank I was not idle. When I have no more shots, I push forward. Now even if you are in a tank destroyer, you do not be idle. Keep shooting shots, keep your eye on the map, look at your team sheet. Now in this replay you do not see me toggling the team sheet and map a lot, because in the replay it does not show up. When I'm recording the replay, the toggling of the map and the toggling of the team sheet does not show up in the replay. But in the game itself, when I'm playing this actual game, I'm actually toggling the team sheet and the map a lot, all the time. I want to know where what tanks I'm facing in the enemy team, where my teammates are. I'm looking at the minimap to see where the pressure is coming from. I'm looking at the minimap to see where I can apply myself most effectively. So do not sit idle. Tip number 7, do not sit idle even if you are in a TD. If you have no shots, go find the shots, because you need to make your shots count. In order to rank up, you need only your shots matter. Either you shoot into your enemy team that are capping, or you shoot into enemy teams that are in the open. You need to keep shooting your gun. If your gun is not shooting and if you are not making contact with the enemy, then you are not ranking up. So tip number 7, do not sit idle even if you are in a tank destroyer. tip number 8, map awareness is key. Like I was saying just before this, always be toggling your tab key to see your team sheet, who is on your team, what tanks is on your team, who is your enemy, what tanks is on your enemy team, are they on your flank, are they not in your flank. Always be tabbing the M key, the map key, toggle your map key to see where the pressure is, where you can apply yourself. Map awareness is very, very, very important in this game mode for you to know where you can apply yourself best, where you can maximize your potential. Tip number 9. Let others focus on killing the final objectives. Now, if you are in an attacking team, you can see a lot of attacking players, especially those driving in the EBR90s, the LT432s, always breaking out in the middle of this map and then going on to objective 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and destroying those turrets. Let others focus on those final objectives, because there is always someone focusing on those final objectives. You don't need to be the one to do it. Now, I can tell you for a fact that most of the people that shoot into the objectives, they are not the generals. You do earn some frontline experience when you destroy objectives and shoot at objectives, but not as much as shooting capping or shooting people in the cap. The objective should always be Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot objectives. Those objectives are the most important. If you are attacking, cap and you will gain the most frontline experience. If you are defending, shoot those bitches in the objectives. That is where you earn the most frontline experience. Remember, the objective Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, these 6 objectives are the top priority. Let someone else deal with those turrets, okay? You don't need to be that guy, okay? Because those guys that destroy those objectives 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, those are the guys that end the game early. And when they end the game early, it's less opportunity for everyone to rank up to general. So let someone else focus on destroying objective 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's going to be plenty of those guys around. Don't worry about those objectives. Just think about objective A, B, C, D, E, and Foxtrot. Okay, and the last tip that I have for you, I hope is going to be useful on your road to Prestige 10. If you have reserves in the end game, when the game is coming to an end, when you see that all the objectives are almost being destroyed, or when you see the clock is almost running out, there is no more time, there is 5 minutes left on the clock, or 2 objectives have already been destroyed, third one is on the way. Okay, if you have 2 tanks in reserve like I do right now, do not be afraid to YOLO and attack and get yourself killed. Trade your HP to get some HP. Why am I saying this? This is because the cooldown period for your respawn has significantly decreased compared to when it was last year or episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay, in episode 7 they started reducing the cooldown time. The cooldown time, I can't remember how many seconds it is now, but it is no longer 30 seconds after you die and you have to sit in the garage and wait for a new tank to respawn. It is a lot sooner than that right now, so it's gonna be worth for you. You don't need to waste 30 seconds sitting in the garage to respawn. You can respawn almost immediately. So if you lose any XP, you know, if you have 2 reserve tanks in your garage and the game is coming to an end, you have 2 reserve tanks, you can go ahead and YOLO to exactly where the enemies are, where the concentration of the enemy is. Drive straight into that, unload your clip, hide. If you die, you die, it doesn't matter. Jump into another tank and YOLO in again and get as much damage as you can. If you die, that's okay, get into your last tank. Make sure you maximize your damage output. That way it does not matter to save your reserve tanks anymore during the end game. So keep that in mind. The reason why you should YOLO and and get as much damage as you can, especially in the end game, is because your respawn time takes a lot less time nowadays, especially since episode 7 and now episode 8. Your respawn is going to be really quick. Once you die, you go into your garage and you're very quickly going to respawn into another tank. If you have reserves, go ahead and YOLO and die. It's okay, you have reserve tanks. So that was my 10 tips for you. Let's go back into the game. Is this captain? And I am going to have 1 or 2 more shots before I get into major. And now I would have liked to have been general as earlier than this, because if you look at the map, you can see 6 of the objectives have already been captured. Now if you are behind, example, if you are in prestige 6, prestige 7, prestige 5, if you are behind, you need to catch up to prestige 8, prestige 9. You want to be general now, before all these 6 objectives have been captured. You want to be general now. Look at my rank. I am still captain. I'm not even major yet. And the main reason why I'm not major yet is because not the main reason, but one of the reasons why I'm not major yet is because I am almost exclusively shooting premium shells. Shooting standard shells. I advise you to be shooting premium shells because you need to be ranking up to general before A, B, C, D, E, F is captured a lot sooner. So if I was firing premium shells, I would have bounced less, I would have made my shots a little bit more. I would definitely have been major by now, but I could have been general by now if I was shooting premium shells. Now the reason why I'm not shooting premium shells is because I am actually already all caught up. I am in no hurry to rank up, and I am using this game mode to not just rank up, but I want to gain a lot of credits, and the only way to gain a lot of credits is to do not use premium shells, or at least minimize my usage of premium shells, which is exactly what I'm doing. So if you're all caught up, you don't need to chase the ranks, chase the prestige. Go ahead and fire a lot, 100% standard shells. It doesn't matter if you don't make it to general every game. If you are captain or major every game, that is perfectly fine. You are ranking up accordingly. I mean, it doesn't matter if you are not major if you are not general, because you are not under pressure for time. Time is not a problem for you. You've done your homework, you've done all your work early in the season, in season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've kept up with all the prestiges, and you made sure you are caught up. So now's your time that you can farm the credits and just play this game mode without any pressure of ranking up. Go ahead and fire all your standard shells and just play accordingly. No pressure at all. So now I'm back again in the VK heavy tank. I don't understand why I'm playing. I am actually getting into this heavy tank. I should be in a medium tank. Oh yeah, I think I know why. Because I had this VK during this period as a rental, and I was trying to get as much footage as I can of this tank to make a video out of it. If I had a good session in the VK, I would have used this footage. So I'm in the VK and I am defending this objective Alpha Bravo Charlie, because you can see them breaking through on the minimap, and they had already destroyed objective 1, and they're going for objective 2, which is probably the last objective. You can see them applying a lot of pressure. So what I need to do is try to help out my team and try to defend Charlie as much as possible, which is exactly what I'm doing. But I am being stopped by this Progetto. Oh my god, he has completely connected all 3 shots on me. I need to repair this and see if I can put some pressure on him. it'll be a miracle if I can make it to general. Who knows? Well, in hindsight, of course, I make it to general in this game. In fact, this is a general of an army game for me. But like I said in the replay, like I said in this game mode, I'm not playing this game mode to rank up to general. I'm trying to earn as much credits as I can, which is why I'm just firing almost 100% standard shells exclusively, unless of course if I have to fire premium shells against heavily armored frontals of other heavy tanks. But at the moment it is just standard shells for me. If I make it to general, I make it to general. If I don't, it's not a big deal for me. I'm just trying to make credits out of this game. I'm playing all premium tanks, I'm shooting all standard shells, just try to get as much credits as I can. But here you go, my final shot in this game, and I do make it the general. Very fortunate there. That shot pushed me just over the finish line into the general, just before the enemy either completely destroy all the objectives, or the time runs out and we manage to defend all the objectives before the enemies have a chance to capture everything out. Now you can see the timer is running out, like 30 seconds left in the clock. Look how fast I respawn into the game again, almost instantly. There's no waste of time at all. So if you decide to abandon your tank or YOLO suicide, if you have reserve tanks, just go ahead and do it, because you're going to respawn into a tank almost immediately, and there is no waste for you there. So I hope you have enjoyed these 10 tips. Well, there was tip 0 as well, so technically there were 11 tips here, but road to prestige 10. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'll leave a link in the description below for the video for the new map, the Kraftwerk or Epic Suburbia video, so that you have a little bit of insight and a little bit of advanced knowledge for that new map that's coming out. There you go, General of the Army badge for me, Big Dickus mode. Thank you guys for following, thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Have a good campaign on episode 8. Bye bye.